Oh boy. So I finally sat down and watched the new He-Man trailer, and wow, that is some of the most garbage post-irony friggin' Guardians of the Galaxy copy and slop I've seen yet. So here we go with yet another friggin' Surf Dracula kinda movie, which if you don't know the meme, go look at my podcast where I kind of explained that a little bit. But again, here we are, a little bit of the real world mixed with the fantasy stuff, but it feels like it's really trying to ape Guardians of the Galaxy poorly with that major Whedon-esque crap and current year humor, combined with just all sorts of this really annoying and straight up bland, just crap in general. And I don't know, maybe I'm just too burnt out by the just constant slop on slop and post irony humor in just everything that's infected all of our pop culture here in the West. But it it's tiresome seeing yet another adaptation of a property from back in the 80s that's just completely missing the point of what we originally had. It's like, come on, if you're gonna do that, don't even call it He-Man. Just call it, like, shitty fantasy number 508 or whatever. And it's like, that's the thing, like, I don't know, I'm just so burnt out and disgusted that seeing yet another thing like this makes me wonder just who this is made for. I mean, who am I kidding? We all know who it's made for. It's made for the never grown up crowd that believes that the height of humor was Family Guy and pretty poorly made adult entertainment like that, or the modern cartoons that just pander to all these man children who have never grown up past their friggin' elementary school years. But, you know, aside from that, again, I just question it because this looks like just complete and utter garbage. Like, I'm genuinely just reeling from how terrible this was. It's like, yet again, we're having another just terrible adaptation in current year, and for what reason? To put two fingers up to the crowd who still believes Western entertainment can be salvaged? I don't know, call me a cynic if you will, but I am just very unimpressed. And like the way that they decided to do Prince Adam and all that, or, goes into the real world, or is, I guess, from technically in the real world and all that, and just kind of, if that trailer's any indicator, kind of ruined his character and made him just this really, really bland, like generic, guy who is exposed to the real world, goes into the fancy world, and acts like this kind of sniveling thing. Just, I don't know, it just leaves a very disgusting taste in my mouth. Like, so you're really gonna sit here and tell me that for our Western Isekai, that, for lack of better words, or I guess it would be more technically a reverse Isekai, because he goes to the, quote, real world and then comes back to his kingdom, I guess, and, it's supposed to be really cool? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. It seems like yet another contrived and poorly thought out thing. And for what reasoning? Like, just to stick two fingers up to the crowds who enjoy these kinds of things? Like, I don't know. It's very tiresome, because yet again, what could have been an amazing, like, adaptation if they actually let either the old guard or folks who are actually passionate about entertainment come in, like, this could have been something that was actually really good. But instead, because we live in current year, which is 2026, it must be post-irony slop that's just meant to appeal to the crowd with Arrested Development. And I don't know, like I said, if this trailer is any indicator, this movie is going to be just complete garbage. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not at all excited. But, hopefully I'm wrong. But when it comes to first impressions, especially from trailers, I'm usually extremely right. It's, to kind of go onto a tangent here, kind of reminds me of when I was and I watched the trailer for that movie, A Cure for Wellness, which was, like, for those of you guys who don't remember, a pretty bad film. And unfortunately, tried watching the movie, and it was actually a little bit worse than the trailer itself would suggest to be. It is kind of one of those things, like, trailers can make or break your movie, and when your trailer itself is pretty terrible, your movie will also very likely be pretty terrible. And I fully expect this He-Man film is going to be no change from that. It's going to be, I'd wager, exactly the same, in fact. But, again, hopefully I'm wrong, but we will find out. Thanks for watching.